This letter literally made me cry. 57 years old, a man found out that he had ADHD, and it was the disease that caused his failures in life. He was delighted and hurried to share the news with his older sister. She replied coldly, "George, if you've found a reason to be happy, I'm happy for you." After a while, she began to ignore him. This letter was written by this man, with a desire to explain himself, to explain how he feels, why getting a diagnosis is so important for him. But it never reached his sister.
Dear Patricia, as you undoubtedly remember, quite a long time has passed since our last conversation. If I'm not mistaken, I called you in mid-March to share my discovery attention deficit disorder. Then we exchanged a few words at Easter, but you quickly delegated me to David. I tried to call you a couple of times unsuccessfully, but then it became obvious that you yourself are not making any noticeable effort to contact me. The more time passed, the more convinced I became that it was better to approach the issue differently. I can't say exactly what it is, therefore, I'm not sure that I chose the right form. Nevertheless, I decided to tell you my thoughts as sincerely as possible. I don't know if you know that attention deficit disorder has only recently been sufficiently studied in children, and for adult patients there is still a lot of obscurity in this diagnosis. I don't know if you know that. Although, wait a minute, that's not what the letter is about. Telling you about ADD is not really the main thing. It is much more interesting to try to describe in a little more detail the changes that are taking place in my life, and perhaps, to encourage you to reciprocate. If you remember, in March I called you to share, without a doubt, the most important insight of my life. This illness didn't just quietly prevent me from doing what was expected of me. It made me believe that the inability to achieve results is a conscious choice, the deepest character flaw. As long as I can remember, I sincerely believe that this was the case. At the same time, it was obvious to me and to everyone with whom I communicated that I had abilities, intelligence, good external data, tact, and everything else that seemed important in the pursuit of success. Stop. In my opinion, I'm writing about the wrong thing again. Actually, I just want to ask, what's going on in your head? Your brother, whom you have assured many times of sincere love and devotion, says that he has a serious neurological disease and side effects literally envelop all his actions, relationships, and thoughts. Why didn't you offer me support, didn't sympathize, didn't show interest, didn't react at all? If for some reason you don't feel these feelings, why didn't you get outraged and call me a malingerer, a hindrance, a stain on our exemplary American family? Why didn't you do anything at all? Maybe I'm a minor irritating factor, since you didn't deign to condescend to me from your heights? Patty, this doesn't make the slightest sense. I'm your brother, George. I have a neurological disease called attention deficit disorder. No one is to blame that I have it. No one has specifically influenced it to manifest itself in any way. I am not angry and I do not regret it, although due to my illness I have had countless problems with the simplest actions that I expected from myself and others expected from me. I have no control over the side of my mind responsible for retaining interest in almost everything significant in my life. I seem to myself and others to be a lazy and unmotivated person, wasting natural talents. This chronically discouraged me from doing anything. For a very, very long time I was unable to squeeze out a drop of real enthusiasm for anything other than getting out of debt. This is not a figment of my imagination and not an excuse for a failed life. Not only do I have this disease, but thousands of others like me have it. My diagnosis is certain. It was unconditionally confirmed by 3 independent specialists in adult ADHD. I have read more than 1 or 2 stories about life with an undiagnosed syndrome, and in most cases I could write something similar myself. The characteristics of the symptoms seem to be written from myself. Fortunately, I did not end up in prison like many other patients, did not get drunk and avoided many other sad, but not so rare outcomes. Now I am trying various combinations of medications that will help me manage my concentration, and at the same time I am trying to unravel the patterns of creative behavior that have accumulated over many years, thanks to which I have experienced so many ups, downs, despair, embarrassment, and even a lot of fun moments. I can't say that this insidious disease is a blessing, but I admit that it is luck to learn about it, and not to fight with yourself until the end of your not very joyful days. Please share your thoughts. I don't expect anything concrete from you, but I'm interested in your thoughts on this, whatever they may be. It would be nice of you if our blood and family ties are preserved and we continue to share life experiences with each other. But if for some reason you think it's impossible, I'll get over it. Just let me know. With respect, your brother George.